Good evening, Rice family. Welcome to the inaugural Night of Flight presented by Mass Mutual of Greater Houston. I am Mike Melendez, and I have the privilege of serving as your Chief Development Officer here for athletics. Fantastic to be a part of this inaugural event to celebrate the true student-athlete experience and raise some vital funds for our Athletic Scholarship Fund. I'll start off by saying this. We've had to pivot a bit. Unlike, similar to everything that's going on over the last 12 months, we had some difficulties on Monday launching the auction. Tonight was supposed to be the cap of the auction. It actually is the official launch of the auction. And so with that said, I know there's some people who've been anxious and ambitious in their bidding, so we have some pre-bids, but the athletic scholarship auction is officially open. Bidding is officially open. Over 70 great items to bid on. I encourage all of you to take a look. Experiences and items ranging from a Napa Valley wine tasting, a trip with the golf team to the 2022 Cabo Collegiate, Gatlin's Barbecue Pitmaster experience, signed Adidas shell toes from the Erica Agumike, and a really one-of-a-kind sleeveless hoodie from a friend of Rice's, Bill Belichick, that we're excited about, and much, much more. Our goal over the next week is to raise $70,000 to the Athletic Scholarship Fund, equivalent of one athletic scholarship here at Rice. Very excited about it. Over the next hour, you will hear about the power of scholarship and the true student-athlete experience from our coaches, letter winners, benefactors, and student athletes. To kick us off tonight, I would like to introduce our Director of Athletics, Dr. Joe Colgard.
Thanks, Mike, and thanks to you and the development team for doing such a great job in assembling all of the auction items and in coming up with the idea for us to do this. Of course, being in a pandemic, we've had to pivot off of some of our more traditional events, but I'm really excited to kick off Night of Flight and really grateful for all of you who are joining us today or tonight and looking forward to seeing how the bidding goes with all of the different items. Obviously, as Mike mentioned, we're raising money for the Rice Athletic Scholarship Fund, something that we just launched within the last year or so, and we're really excited about that. I mean, scholarship is at the heart of what we do in athletics. It's about that athletic experience, not just on the floor and courts, in fields and tracks and pools, but also in the classroom. And your support of athletic scholarships means that our student athletes can afford to attend Rice. And so just grateful to all of you who are interested in contributing to that. And hopefully you'll find something that you'll like in the auction today. Also want to recognize our great partner, Mass Mutual of Greater Houston, for their sponsorship of this event tonight. Thank you very much for engaging with us. As I think about all that we've been through over the course of the last year, so many challenges related to COVID. I just thought I'd touch upon briefly some of the really terrific accomplishments of our team, starting, this fall with trying to get football off the ground and watching our team just compete really well. We ended up playing 5 games. Everybody probably remembers where they were when we beat Marshall. 20-0 on the road. They were ranked 15th in the country. Just really proud of the steps that the program's taken forward and everything that I think this fall will represent for Rice football. Our soccer and volleyball programs, typically fall sports, had their competitions moved to the spring. Our volleyball program beat Texas again, this time on the road at UT. And finished second in the conference tournament, unbeaten in their half of Conference USA regular season play. And then, of course, COVID took their NCAA postseason. But the good news is that we get to turn around in 4 or 5 months and do it all over again. And that'll be exciting to watch this team come back together and pursue their goals and dreams this fall. Soccer is involved in the NCAA tournament after winning the Conference USA tournament here at Rice. They also beat Texas A&M earlier in the year, which was an exciting win for them. They face off against Furman in the first round of the NCAA tournament next week. Our track programs. I'm fond of telling people we have 16 sports here at Rice. 6 of them are related to track and field, cross country, indoor and outdoor for men and women, and just some terrific individual accomplishments there. highlighted, of course, by everybody's favorite Grace Forbes, all of the school records that she's broken. She recently qualified for the Olympic trials in the 10,000 meters. And then, of course, Michelle Fokum. And we're so happy that she came back for another year to pursue her dreams, and she's qualified for the U.S. Olympic trials in the triple jump. We have a number of throwers who are also doing very well. They're international students, so we may not see them compete in the U.S. Olympic trials, but they have good chances in their home countries. Tara Simpson-Sullivan, Erna Gunnarsdottir, Sean Carey, and Sam Woodley. 3 of those are from the UK. Erna is from Iceland. So really excited about our throws program and all that the great Brett Christensen has done to improve their fortunes. Our men's basketball team this year finished 15-13, won 2 games in the Conference USA tournament for the first time in many years. Got the core of the team coming back next year, and really excited about a couple of grad transfers that we've signed. Everybody knows about women's basketball and the WNIT win. Disappointed that we didn't get to the NCAA tournament this year, but the group came together and really rallied and won 5 games over the course of maybe 10 days, all by double digits, including 2 victories over Power 5 opponents in Arizona State and Ole Miss. So just excited about women's basketball, and we're going to have a new head coach here shortly, so hope to make that announcement in the next couple of days. Our women's tennis program, flirting with a top 25 ranking. They're at the conference tournament this weekend in Denton at North Texas. And our women's swim team, Ellery Parrish qualified for the NCAAs this year. Alya Lettenberger is competing for a spot on the Paralympic team. And they, of course, finished very well at the conference swim meet, finishing 2nd this year. And just really proud of all the accomplishments of our swimmers as well. We've got a really bright future. I'm excited about all of our returning student athletes, about all that we're accomplishing in the classroom, in the community, on the field. It's just a great time to be part of Rice Athletics. I can't wait to see everybody back in our venues soon. I know COVID has kept most of you away, certainly from our indoor sports, and we've had restricted attendance at our outdoor events, but I'm excited and optimistic that this fall we'll be able to welcome you back to watch your Rice Owls in person. So thanks for joining us tonight. I'm excited for the evening to see what unfolds, and I appreciate all of your support of Rice Athletics.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you being a part of this tonight. Everybody, tonight's a unique night. We're excited about the program we have ahead. We kick it off with a really fun game of OWL, a little play on horse with Coach Volpe, Coach Para, then a great interview with Earl Cooper, the legendary Earl Cooper. Stay tuned, stay put. We have fun coming ahead.
Family, welcome to Night of Flight. We're having a great time today raising funds for our student athlete scholarships. I'm here with head volleyball coach Jenny Volpe, head men's basketball coach Scott Para. We're going to play a friendly game of OWL. We're going to have a little fun, learn about the programs, and teach me a few things about playing ball. You guys up for it? Let's get to it. Let's go. All right, let's do it. All right, before we start, Jenny, first question for you. Okay, you're coming off a big win versus UT, back-to-back years, 17 seasons, 5 NCAA tournaments, sustained success. How do your core values reflect on that? How is that sustained success based on your core values?
Well, I think, over 17 years, it's a lot of different teams, and they're all different in their own way, but I think something that we really focus on is putting the team first, outworking our opponents, and just playing for each other. So I think our team really embraces that and is a big part of why we've had that success.
I love it. It's a testament to you as a coaching staff and as a program. Jenny, I think actually it's be my shot next. Before I go, let me ask you a question. Okay? Global pandemic, we're all familiar with, it's impacted all of us. In your sport in particular, you're fall season and got pushed into the spring. Had to be flexible, had to adjust, persevere through it. Now you're getting ready for the Conference USA tournament, on the run, top seed out of the West. How has your team exemplified that perseverance as they dealt with everything that's gone on last?
Yes, it's definitely been a challenge, but one that we're really grateful that we were able to play our season in the spring, even though it was delayed. I think what stood out to me about our team is just their ability to stay focused, and they come into the gym every single day ready to learn and get better, and that's what our focus has been. And they really haven't been focusing on what we don't have or changes. They're just focusing on us as a team getting better and trying to make a strong tournament run.
Right. Awesome. Well, I'm gonna try to make a strong shot here. Let's see what I got. I'm a corner 3 guy. Oh, over there. I'm actually gonna. No, I'm gonna go. That's way off. Holy cow! Don't record that. Exciting brand of basketball you guys played here in South America. 317 3-pointers made last season. A bunch of sharpshooters. How do you coach that? How do you bring that to the sport?
Well, multiple ways. It starts with recruiting. You got to recruit kids that fit how you want to play, and we've done it. And then once we get them here, we got to be gym rats. Guys that want to be in the gym not only with the staff, which we love to do, be on the floor with our guys, but love to be in the gym on their own. So it starts with a lot of practice, right? Then it also starts with our coaching staff building up confidence in them and then giving them the green light to do it in the game. And also recognizing, knowing you're going to miss. You can't worry about that one. We got to move on to the next one. But it's certainly fun to play. It's fun to coach. And I believe it's fun to recruit. And I think it's fun to watch for the fans. So we enjoy it, and we're going to continue to go that way. Obviously with Big Max and Elijah down there too, we can score inside as well, so it gives us a dual threat.
Go right here.
You were doing fine.
I'll do a jump.
Oh. All right. Scott and I both have O's. Jenny's blank slate. Scott, your shot. Let's go.
Yeah, we're going 3 right here. Right swing.
All right. Hey, all right. Remains. Scott remains with an O. Mike with an O. Jenny, blank slate. Actually, I'm going to go with the bigger one. That's not going to test it out. It's my massive hands, I guess. I'm going to go same shot, Scott. Oh, barely hit the rim. Barely hit the rim. All right.
Just for fun, I'll do the same.
Jenny's doing the same thing.
I gotta get a
Four
running
remain the
start.
same. O for Mike, blank slate for Jenny.
Oh! Put the pressure on.
Oh, pressure on.
Oh, Mike. Yes.
All right, so we got OW for Mike, O for Coach Para,
And he still has to.
Coach Volpe, blank slate. You shot this.
He has
Jenny
to-
shot.
yes,
Jenny shot.
yeah.
That's my shot?
Your shot, Jenny.
Okay, let's see. Y'all can work with the green.
Now we're good. I like it. I like it. Oh. There you go.
Square.
Yeah!
Oh,
Stays alive. She was saying that. She was saying that.
all right, OW. This could be.
This might be the end of mine. No, he's good.
Oh, we're good. Oh.
All right, my
All
shot.
right, Scott.
Foul shot.
Buckets. Oh, buckets. Oh, buckets. OW. Oh, that is. Mike is out. We got it. Oh! Jen gets her first letter. All right. So now it's down to Coach Volpe, Coach Para.
Hey. Oh!
That's not my match.
Oh! Nothing but nets, but it did not go in.
Good game.
It's a great game. Great game. All right, a great game of OWL. Close one. Your chief development officer fell out first. A battle between Coach Volpe and Coach Para. The head men's basketball coach finds his way, perseveres, and pulls through at the end. Appreciate both of you guys having fun with us today.
Yeah, it's fun.
Hey, before we go, last question for you, okay? Tonight's all about supporting our student athletes. We're raising vital funds to support scholarships. We promote the true student athlete experience here at Rice. We talk about it. Scott, what does that mean to your program, the true student athlete experience?
It means having a well-rounded experience in your time here. We want our guys, obviously, to enjoy their time on the court. We want them invested on the campus. We want them obviously doing well in the classroom. But more than that, getting to know as many people as they can and building relationships that'll last a lifetime. Doing things that are impactful on campus, or joining groups and being a part of things that are impactful in society. All those things are encouraged. And those are the types of student athletes we recruit. What we're doing tonight to raise money to continue doing this is awesome and vital to all of our programs, and we're very thankful and appreciative of everything everybody does.
Jenny, same question to you. What does that mean to your program, the true student athlete experience?
Yeah, I don't know if I could say it any better. I mean, I think he hit up a lot of great points, and we want our players to enjoy their athletic experience. They come to Rice to be challenged, both athletically and academically, and that's a big draw to Rice University, and we want them to thrive in that experience. And then also still love the sport that they play when they leave, and just be prepared for life after college.
One, two great leaders of our programs, two phenomenal individuals, two phenomenal coaches. Appreciate you having fun with us tonight. We'll keep the program going. Up next, an interview with Earl Cooper. That should be fun. Go Owls.
On hallowed grounds, man. On hallowed grounds, Rice Stadium. We've got so many memories here. Give me your first memory, the first time you stepped into the stadium. What was the first thing that hit across your mind?
Well, everything then was on the south end.
Yeah.
So when I came in the south end up the ramp and I looked down, I had never seen a sunken stadium before. And it was so huge. Now it's the stadium like no other because, at the time it was the stadium of its time.
Yep. I know we've talked before. You didn't always seem like you were going to get that draft pick. You thought there was some anxiety there. When did you realize you had a shot to go in the first round?
Well, you feel like you have a shot in the first round or go on the first day when you're invited to what they call combines. And so I was invited to the combine, so that means you might go on the first day, but coming from Rice University and we only won very few games, but we played hard. I really didn't know until the 49ers came to work me out. Mr. Billy Matthews, running back coach, and then Bill Walsh had to see me for himself, so he came down and we met, talked, and watched a little film, and I was still not holding my breath, but not knowing I was going to go that high. And I really didn't know I was going in the first round until they called me. I was in the old Weiss College, room 151.
151,
yeah,
shout out.
151. And they called me. I was expecting, I hopefully go on the first day, and I went in the first hour.
You catch it, get in, your mind is racing. I just got, up 14-0 in the Super Bowl. I just caught the first touchdown pass.
Right.
At that time, not worried about Joe Montana. You're saying I just caught the first touchdown pass. You spike the ball, okay? You spike it. Now that goes and that becomes a cover of Sports Illustrated. But what I want to ask you about, people remember that, right? Right. But the one that interests me is the one that happened before. That was your second Sports Illustrated cover. So December 21st of 1981.
December of 81.
December of 81, you're on the cover.
Yes.
When did you find out that, hey, you're going to be featured on the cover? And how did you find out? And what went through your mind?
I think I was sitting in the locker room, getting ready for practice, and the SI guy, the sports information guy, came down and said, "Hey, Coop, you can be on the cover of Sports Illustrated." I'm like, oh my God, everybody in the world can see me on the cover of Sports Illustrated. And they said, "Here comes the 49ers." And blessed to be wearing number 49, right? Because here comes the 49ers, number 49. And Earl Cooper, a little kid from Lexington, Texas, happened to be wearing it.
Tell me what that was like, getting the call, hey, Earl, it's your time to be inducted in the Hall of Fame, and your thoughts on being a part of that great group of men and women.
Well, I was in my classroom. I was still teaching. I wasn't retired. And Coach Auburn, the guy that recruited me out of Lexington, and it was my coach here for 2 years, my last 2 years, he called me, and I'm in the classroom, and I tried to hold my emotions back with the kids, but he told me, say, hey, Earl, buddy, you know, after all this time, you're in. I said, I'm in what? In trouble? He said, no, you're in the Rice Hall of Fame. You're going in. And I tell you what, and I think we both cried. We shared the emotion and the thought of being, you know, in the Hall of Fame, which, you know, like I told my wife, I'm forever linked to Rice University. Not as a player, not as an ex-player, not as an ex-professional football player that got drafted in the first round, but as a Hall of Famer in the college that you played so hard for.
We are approaching the goal line. Something that you saw a lot through your time at Rice, 22 total touchdowns in your career, still in the record books for all sorts of all-purpose and everything that came with your performances on the field. Do you have a memory of your favorite, the fondest touchdown you've had in the stadium?
Well, unfortunately, I don't remember my first touchdown, but and it's funny that we're finishing on this end. One of my favorite ones was my 70-yard touchdown against Oklahoma.
You break off 70 yards, right? So
yes.
When you made
down this sideline.
You remember the play? Was it a pitch?
No, it was a 52 isolation. I cut back.
You cut it back
because Oklahoma like over pursued, and I saw that in the film, the study, and we did it one way, and I cut back the next way, and it was off to the races down the sideline. And I'm gonna say this one thing for the students that watching, the players that's watching. That's one thing that Bill Walsh liked about me. He said, "How can you be playing so hard in the fourth quarter?" So he admired that hard work. But my dad always told me, if you're gonna have step, don't step at all.
Well, Earl, it is a pleasure to be here with you. I think we'll finish off. I'm going to go ahead for one last time for film. I'm going to have Earl cross the goal line here at the stadium. Earl, let's go ahead and make the pocket.
Cut.
We go back out, and that's it. That's good. All right. Everybody, great segment here with Earl Cooper, Rice Athletics Hall of Famer. Let's continue enjoying Night of Flight presented by Mass Mutual. Earl Cooper signed Sports Illustrated covers, still up for bid. Make your bids and get those in your home. Look forward to a great remainder of the night. We got more good stuff to come.
Hello and welcome from Westwood Golf Club, Houston, Texas. I'm Jake Benson. I'm a senior on the Rice Golf team, and I've brought with me today Rishi Kejriwal, also a senior on the Rice Golf team. Rishi, what is so great about Cabo?
What isn't great about Cabo? Come enjoy an amazing weekend with the Rice men's golf team. You can come watch us compete in the strongest field in college golf, the Cabo Collegiate. You can also enjoy yourself and sit by the pool or the ocean and really enjoy and soak in the great weather that you might not get in Houston. Come enjoy the weekend with us, and thank you for your support.
How much fun was that? I can't tell you the joy I had playing basketball with Coach Para and Coach Volpe, both of which have items up for bid here on the auction. RiceOutClub.com/Night of Flight, a lunch with Coach Para, a round of golf at Houston Oaks with Coach Volpe. Very cool items. Bidding lasts through next Wednesday at midnight. Jump on board. Walking Rice Stadium with Earl Cooper. Probably something I'll tell my kids about. Something that a lot of envy of my fans on the West Coast that saw me do that. Earl's Sports Illustrated cover is both still up for bid. Legend, Hall of Famer. Great to have him back. Quick updates on the most popular items we have in the auction right now. Rice branded golf balls and club head covers. The football wood Russian nesting dolls are a hit right now as well. Batting practice at Reckling. Who can get one over the fence? Who can get one over onto the road? I don't know. You tell me. All of which we're raising support for student-athlete scholarships, and that's the reason for this event. That's the reason for this week. I have the privilege now to bring two of our most long-standing, steadfast supporters. I'll bring Steve, class of 84, Letitia, class of 86, Trauber. Welcome both of you to Night of Flight, and thank you for taking part.
Thank you very much, Mike. I enjoyed, and I kind of chuckled a few times at that form while you were playing.
So we edited out the point where Coach Parra tried to teach me how to shoot.
I'm sure you had some lessons there, but I'm not sure I would have put that on video. But
I let her into the editor. That's for sure.
I think Coach Parra wanted to win, so it might have been the instruction might be a little suspect there.
Well, I've told everyone who listens to me that Jenny Volpe is one of the best athletes all around I've been around. So I wasn't surprised that she made a run and gave Coach a run for his money. Hey, I appreciate you two being a part of this. And like I said, you guys have been steadfast and unbelievable loyal. Love to get a little quick background of you both, right? So you're both alum. Can you tell me a little bit about your Rice story and what's led you up to here?
Look, when I was coming out of high school, I thought I was a good basketball player. I thought I could go play basketball in college, and I learned real quick that when I came from a little suburb out of Massachusetts, I wasn't really that good on a global or national scale. I came to Rice, and they were very very generous to let me be a walk-on on the Rice basketball team. And look, to me, that is still one of the greatest things in my life. The opportunity to play basketball and study at Rice University has been fantastic. That has thrusted me into the business career that I've got today. It's been just a great alliance between myself and Rice and my family and Rice. My son, played basketball at Rice as well, and it's been a long-term love affair. I love Rice. I love Rice because it is small. It competes academically. It competes athletically. And when I look back at Rice, and I think about the people I played basketball with, or even some of the folks that were there when I played football, and you look at what they're doing today. I mean, the guys I played basketball with, they're business owners, they're doctors, they're CEOs, they're lawyers, and we're still in touch with them. That is a rare feat in college athletics to have that kind of success past your athletic career. And that's what makes Rice, I think, unique in what they do. And so we love Rice. We come to all the sporting events, or as many as we can, and we love giving back to Rice.
And I'm first generation American, first person in my family to go to college, and Rice was the only place I wanted to go. So I only applied to Rice, early decision, and thankfully I got in. And I loved it when I was there. I love continuing to be a part of it, and the fact that our son continued the family tradition of going to Rice. My sister and brother also graduated from Rice, so it's a big part of our family. Just very, very happy to be able to give back to the university.
Well, you are a big part of our family. Anyone who comes to any event, and we look forward to having everyone come back soon to campus, would recognize you in the front row and tutor at the club, at the football. You're at everything. What is your favorite sporting event memory at Rice? Your time. Is there one you could pinpoint?
Well, look, in my relationship with Rice has been two. One when I was there, and one later. Obviously, the one when I was there was when we beat University of Texas in the pouring rain at Rice. Nobody ever expects us to beat University of Texas, right? And when you can go into a sporting event and be the underdog and have the opportunity not only to be able to compete but have a chance to win, that's what sports is all about. And that was absolutely a wonderful moment in Rice's history and Rice football history. The second one, obviously, can't be ignored, is when we won the national championship in baseball. Right? I mean, a small school, Rice University, academics, we don't get to, all the players, not all the players we can get into Rice because, they don't all have the academic requirements to be able to get into Rice. But the people that we did get into Rice that had the academic requirements to go on and win the national championship in baseball, I mean, those two, I'm not sure we can ever beat those two events. I'm looking forward to the day we beat University of Texas again or Texas A&M again. If we ever get a chance to play them. But look, I think at the end of the day, it goes back to what I said. We compete, we're on the field, but I wouldn't trade. When you look at the athletes and the experiences they get there, and then go on in life and what they do in life and become successful in life, nobody regrets having that Rice degree. I know a lot of players that came to Rice that played sports and may have transferred after the first or second year and left. They all regret not having that Rice degree, right? That Rice degree means a lot for life, and that means a lot to us.
And for me, it's a little closer to home. The Texas game was amazing and fun, and the World Series, and we've had other, successes with the women's basketball team and the women's volleyball team. But I was there when my son got to get into a game and hit his first three, and that nothing in the world beats that. That was amazing, and of course we'll never forget it. I have photos. And
Well,
videos.
Letitia, I can almost see the goosebumps on your arm.
Hey, Mike, I thought she was going to say. I thought she was going to say when I actually got into a game, which was rare.
Yeah, but that never. There's no video evidence.
Sorry.
There's no video evidence that actually occurred. So we'll play it like that. You two are tremendously philanthropic to the city of Houston. You're actually, I believe, you're a big part of a gala coming up at a local hop here this weekend. Why do you continue to prioritize Rice and athletics in your philanthropy?
I think I've said it. I think what's unique about Rice is the true definition of a scholar athlete. The folks that come to Rice and participate in Division I sports are highly credentialized in the academic world, right? They get that Rice degree. They go out, they're successful. I recruit to Rice all the time, right? I come back and I recruit Rice student athletes all the time because anybody that can handle the Division I athletic workload that is required and the academic workload at Rice is somebody that is going to be successful in life. I don't care what they do, they're going to be successful. And I want those people on my team if I can get them. And that's rare. And look, athletics takes a lot of money, for sure. And, I want to make sure that Rice continues to be a part of a Division I conference. I want to make sure that Rice continues to compete, athletically. But I also want to make sure that we're able to attract top true scholar athletes to Rice University because those are the lifelong success stories that we all talk about.
And for me, I have this very vivid memory. There was a girl we were up for the same scholarship and she did not get it. I was lucky enough to be awarded the scholarship and she was not able to go to Rice because she couldn't get that scholarship. And so, in the back of my mind, I was thinking about wanting to help those kids that can't come if they don't get the scholarships. And that's what spurred us, 20, however many years ago when we first set up our scholarship. And it's why we continue to give.
Well, we love you both. This night and this week is about raising vital funds for athletic scholarships. Goal of $70,000 here on Wednesday. I know you two have an announcement you'd like to make, so I will turn it over to you, Steve and Letitia, on that.
Well, Mike, thank you. And obviously, we love Rice. It really is in our blood. It's in my son's blood. We want to put a challenge out there, right? We want everybody who's on this now listening to us and others to be able to compete in this auction and raise the funds. We want to put forth we're going to put forth two things: a $50,000 match for the first $50,000 that is purchased in the auction. We will match dollar for dollar. Second of all, we will put forth a $50,000 challenge in a game of owl. Me versus Coach Volpe, and secondly, me versus Coach Pera. So that's an opportunity for $150,000 if they can beat me in owl, right? And I haven't shot a basketball in a long time, but if they can beat me in owl, there's $100,000 there and $50,000 to match the first $50,000 in the auction item. And we're happy to do it and happy to give back to the university.
That is unbelievable. I have to make sure. Coach Volpe, Coach Pera, if you guys are listening right now, the challenge has been laid. This, Letitia, Steve, you guys are unbelievable. You continue to be tremendous supporters, just tremendous part of our family. We thank you both so much.
Hey, Mike, I wanted to say one quick thing. You notice I didn't say the game of owl against you.
No, yeah, that's
fair because I want to at least give a chance to be able for Rice to raise this money, and that just wouldn't have been fair.
We're trying to raise money tonight, right? We're trying to raise money, so I will gladly step aside. Thank you both so much. Hey, upcoming, hard to top that. We'll have a quick note from our presenting sponsor, Mass Mutual, then an interview with two student athletes who epitomize the Rice athletic way, Erica Gumike Nancy Mulkey, once again, you heard the Trauber Challenge. We have $50,000 1-for-1 for every dollar raised in the auction. And then a match has been, a challenge has been put forth. Coach Volpe versus Steve Trauber for $50,000. Coach Para versus Steve Trauber in a game of Al for $50,000, $150 on the line. Wow. What a night. And this is actually a genuine surprise. I did not know this was coming. So very cool stuff. With that, stay tuned. 2 more great segments. Look forward to being back with you.
Family, my name is Kelly Hemmenchak with Mass Mutual Credit Houston. On behalf of our firm, it is my pleasure as an alumni and former student athlete of Rice University to be a supporter and sponsor of the inaugural Night of Flight virtual auction event benefiting all 350 student athletes. As a full-service financial services firm, we believe that in order to build long-lasting relationships with our clients, we also have to serve the local communities in which they live and work. Our community involvement through institutions such as Rice University is deeply important to us, and our time and resources invested are additional reasons we've earned trust from so many in the area. One resource that I would like to highlight is our internship and recruiting program, which is an ongoing program made available to Rice Athletics and enables student athletes to get a real-world experience to add to the university's education and learn the basics of personal and business finances. At Mass Mutual Credit Houston, we support the best in each other and know we can be the best financial service organization in the area. Thank you all for the commitment and the goal of raising $70,000 for the Rice Athletic Scholarship Fund at this virtual event. Go Owls!
Ladies and gentlemen, as we continue on with our inaugural Night of Flight presented by Mass Mutual, tonight everything's about raising resources for our incredible student athletes. Have 2 of the finest examples you can come across, and Nancy Mulkey and Erica Gumake. Nancy, Erica, thank you for taking the time for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Well, this is great. So I think, and it's kind of twofold. I've had a chance to talk to both of you a little bit. Erica, it feels like it was a year ago. We got together and right when the pandemic started, and we did a virtual event, and you were just saying goodbye to Rice at that time. And so I would love for you to catch up the supporters, our fans, on what the last year has looked like for you and what has been up with Erica Agumake.
Yeah, I feel like I've lived like 20 lives in the past year. But no, it's been a good year. I am currently almost done with my first year of med school, which is awesome. And I'm actually still training basketball-wise. I'll be competing with the Nigerian national team this summer, hopefully to make the Olympics. So it's been awesome for sure. But this year, doing med school in a pandemic was definitely different. But Rice definitely prepared me to, adapt to changes and everything. So I can't complain. It's been a pretty good year, even though it's been pretty hectic.
That's fantastic. So, with the Nigerian national team, when do you plan on heading? What does camp look like for you?
It's actually a little bit different. So I've been bouncing both throughout the year. I had to go to training camp in the middle of one of my hematology blocks. So I was doing med school while in training camp, and that's going to happen again next month. I have to go to Las Vegas for the same thing. And so once I finish school in May, I start traveling with them, Belgium, Spain, where we play other teams. And then hopefully if I make the team, I'll be traveling just throughout the US, playing a lot of like USA, Australia, teams like that, just to prepare for the Olympics, which is the last week in July.
Is it safe to say that you're the only member of the team that is in between their hematology blocks when practicing?
Okay, it's very safe to say that, but it's actually
sure. I don't know. It seems unique. But...
It's actually funny because there is one other girl who's in podiatry school. So I thought I was uncommon, but it's definitely someone else is doing it. So
that's so good. That's so good. Well, it's great to hear. It seems like just yesterday we were getting together and talk about what your plans were. And so now you've realized those plans, aspiring for much more. Nancy Mulkey, your career at Rice comes to an end. You're about to graduate. What do you aspire to do here in the real world, I guess?
Yeah, Rice has made me think about what I want to do. And with Rice being right across the med center, my eyes were open to occupational therapy. And so I've applied to occupational therapy school. I've gotten in. And so now it's just a matter of deciding on where I want to go. And so It was definitely an experience and a ride, but I mean, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
That's fantastic, Nancy. I know we've all enjoyed it. I think the fun part too, I've mentioned from the onset, Nancy Mulkey and Erica Gumake, you two are not only probably some of the most beloved student athletes that have come through. You've helped rebuild this women's basketball program. You actually came in together, right? Your friendship started way before South Main. So I'd love for you guys to kind of walk us through the first time you two met in the hallway. Was it one of those like, step brothers? Did we become just best friends? But how the friendship blossom and kind of lead us through your journeys together through Rice and where you guys are at today?
I'm going to have Erica take this one just because when we did an interview in high school, he said, so how did you guys meet? I said volleyball camp.
Wrong.
I was wrong because we had met when I came down to visit Texas before I moved here, and I met them. What, you guys had open gym or something?
Yeah, so high school back in the day, you're just so eager to move around and stuff. So after school, we would always just be playing open gym, waiting for our parents to pick us up. So Nancy was coming down from what's it called, Kentucky. And yeah, I was just coming from Kentucky, so I had to think of another state other than Texas. You see what Texas does to us. And so she was looking at the school, and of course, we all stuck our head out in the hallway and saw her, and that was the first time I saw Nancy. And she was with her mom looking around the school because she was still deciding what high school she was going to go to in Texas. So that was our first encounter. And it's funny you said in the hallway because it really was in the hallway.
Literally, I was standing in the hallway and then the door was open and she was like head out of the gym.
Yeah, I just stuck my head out. I was like, who's that?
Yeah, I would say like our friendship started blossoming at volleyball camp. That's when we started spending more time with each other and just realizing that like playing volleyball and basketball, like not very many kids do that, and so we just stuck by each other's side.
Did anyone give Jenny Volpe that note? Did anyone loop Jenny Volpe in that you guys had the volleyball background as well? I can imagine that could have been an interesting conversation between her and Coach Langley at the time. All right, so you guys meet volleyball camp. You take your skills. Obviously, you blossom on the court. You do great things in high school. When did you start getting on the phone and say, hey, yeah, I'm thinking about going to Rice? So am I. How'd that all come about?
Funny. We both didn't choose Rice initially, which was even funnier. I chose to go to Pepperdine. Nancy went to Oklahoma. And then for many reasons, my sister Olivia and I were like, hey, we want to come back home. Rice is a great institution. Coach Langley was just new there. So we were like, hey, this is a good move for us. And, we had to be like, Nancy, this could be a good move for you.
Well,
I miss you.
I told Erica and Olivia, I said, you guys can't get rid of me now. So,
I know.
Now we're about to go through college together.
Yeah. So it was good. It was good.
That's I think 9 years of friendship right there, which it flew by fast, but it just like you think about it, 9 years is a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's probably, I'm a little bit older than you two. There's probably, friends on my hand, right? I can probably count my hand the amount of friends I have for 9 years plus. And so, yeah, so, great, and thank you for clarifying that as well, right? So you guys went your separate ways, but at your previous institutions, then started discussing, hey, there's an opportunity. Erica, you obviously made the jump, and Nancy was soon to follow. And you get to South Main and you start realizing success. Is there a moment that stood out during your years playing together here at Rice that really resonates? That you could probably put as your favorite moment?
You want to go first, Nance?
I mean, I think we just have so many moments that because we've been friends for so long and teammates for so long, playing high school together, playing AAU together, and now playing college, we just know one another on and off the court. And so just being able to play on the court together, that you have a chemistry there that not many other teams have with their teammates. And so
yeah.
There's not one specific memory because we've been through so much, but we've had a ride.
I would have to say the most influential, significant ones, like exactly what Nancy said. Like it's kind of hard because we literally just have done life together for so long. But like anytime we do, win a championship, because I've won multiple with Nancy, it's kind of like a time for us to reflect, and we're like, wow, we really have done this together. And we've been fortunate that we've done that many times. Starting in high school, we won state tournament, Nike national championship in AAU, and then we started winning championship after championship at Rice. So like every time we do have those championship games, which there's a lot of pressure, a lot of excitement. Once we do come out accomplishing them, those are probably memories that we always remember, because it's like we look back and we're like, look how much we worked, look, we came together, did this. So I would have to say that, along with what Nancy said.
Really, really cool. And so appreciate you two taking the time. So in closing, as we kind of wrap up tonight, and in front of our supporters we're all raising funds tonight for student athlete scholarships in support of you, individuals like yourselves. I know last year, Eric, on your way out, you had the forum to kind of say your thanks and goodbye. Nancy, I want to give you your forum on just a real quick recount of your time at Rice, what it's meant to you, and then what you'd like to, as your parting words to our support base.
Oh, thank you for letting me do that. I just want to say thank you to Rice for giving me the opportunity to come to university, especially to earn a degree at a prestigious university. Being able to play basketball while earning a degree is very difficult. You're a full-time athlete. And so I just want to say thank you to Rice for welcoming me with open arms and giving me this opportunity. Just want to say thank you to Coach Langley for giving me this opportunity. Want to say thanks to Erica, being able to play with her for another 3 years. Just, you can't get rid of me. But
Never.
yeah, it was just Rice. My experience at Rice won't be forgotten. It's only gonna prepare me for my future and what I've learned. And so just thank you to everyone that supported me and the women's basketball team.
Well, Nancy, we look forward to watching you as we've cheered Erica on last year. We look forward to cheering you on for wherever the future takes you, wherever your path goes. You'll always be an owl. And so thank you both, Erica, Nancy, for taking the time to join us. Hopefully, in the years that come, we'll see you guys back within the hedges as we open back up fans and support. I know we're all looking forward to those times. Everyone's tuned in, and we continue on with Night of Flight presented by Mass Mutual. There's still items up for bid. I think Erica's got some shoes online. We've got some Adidas shell toes signed by Erica that are still up for bid. So put your bids in. Look forward to raising support. Thank you both again. Go Owls.
Thank you.
Owls.
An amazing time with two transcendent student athletes in Erica Gumake and Nancy Mulkey. Erica's shoes are still for bid. You have through Wednesday at midnight, the 28th at midnight to make those bids. I'm excited to shift over now. I have the privilege joined by our Dunleavy family head football coach, Mike Bloomgren. Pro Bowl punter. That sounds good, right, Jack? Pro Bowl punter.
Yeah, sounds
your
great.
Detroit Lions, Rice Owl, Jack Fox. Thank you both for being a part of this. Coach Bloom, I'll let you take the lead.
Yeah, first off, Jack Fox, what is up, my man? How are you tonight?
Hey, Coach Bloom, how's it going?
Oh, it's going so good. All right, I got a couple questions for you. You ready?
All right, let's do it.
All right, so why Rice University? Why did you make the choice to be a student athlete at this great institution?
Yeah, I mean, we all know, there's not many places where you can play big-time football, get a big-time education, and that was the main reason. On top of that, I didn't have a whole lot of schools offer me scholarships. I didn't have a whole lot of opportunity. And Rice came and gave me an opportunity, and I'm forever grateful for that.
Yeah, I mean, you sound like our recruiting pitch, right? Play great football and graduate with a world-class degree. That's what we're all about.
Yeah, it's no secret. We all know that.
Absolutely. All right, your most memorable moment in a Rice uniform?
Yeah, I had a few. Playing in Australia was really cool. Obviously, we're talking about big-time football. Playing at Texas, playing at LSU, but probably winning our last game against Old Dominion. If you remember that one, 2018, went out with a win. It was a close game. And just being in the locker room after that game was my favorite moment.
That was really cool. I thought you were going to say some of your fake punts those years.
Yeah, that was cool too.
Have you had any in the National Football League at this time?
No, not yet. We're still waiting.
All right. Well, let's talk about that NFL career. So the start of your career really exemplifies like Rice fight never dies, right? Like you joined the Chiefs as an undrafted free agent. You really do some good things in camp. I remember a couple tackles in those preseason games that you made on some great kickoffs and some punts. But then you get cut in the last cut. Then you get brought back to a practice squad. Then you get cut the next week. And then you get signed to a futures contract with the Detroit Lions. So what did you do to stay motivated, to keep your mindset the way it needed to be, facing adversity and uncertainty?
Yeah, I mean, I went into it knowing that it wasn't going to be easy. Like I knew it was going to be tough to win the job in Kansas City. After I got cut, I knew that I didn't really know my next opportunity, but I knew it was going to be tough. And I just kind of went into it thinking everybody has their own journey. And that happened to be my journey. It was kind of up and down, but yeah, it worked out. And I think Rice taught me a big part of that too. Like we all know, like it's not easy playing sports at Rice. Like there's so many hard times, and it's all worth it though. So it's just part of the journey.
That's awesome. That's really a great transition into my next question. Like, what in your time at Rice prepared you for the National Football League?
Man, all of it. Like I was saying, like nothing was easy. Like school is hard, football is hard. And on top of that, like the coaches were great. Like all the special teams coaches I had, Coach Patterson, Coach Lembo, you and Coach Bailiff. Like you guys ran like very classy organizations, and it's really similar to how they run in the NFL. So it all prepared me really well for that.
That's awesome. Well, we were really fortunate to have you come back and speak to our aroma specialists this spring. And it sounds like you left them with 3 things. Can you tell everybody the 3 things that you told those specialists?
Yeah, I pretty much just told them that you got to go out there and be confident. You just got to be confident and trust yourself when you go out there. And I mean, that's what I've learned a lot in the last 4 or 5 years, especially the 4 years I've been at Rice. You guys instilled like so much confidence in me. I didn't come in knowing I could do it, but by the time I left, I knew I could do it, and I knew I could do it at a high level. And so yeah, I can't remember all 3 things, but I think the main thing I told them was just be confident in yourself and know that you can do it because you're already here.
Yeah, I think you also, at least to paraphrase what they told me, it was something about like, look, you haven't earned the right to be perfect. So you're going to make some mistakes and be able to go to the next play or something along those lines.
Yeah. I put that in there too. You're right. Yeah. Don't be afraid to make mistakes because shoot, man, we all do it. In the NFL, everybody makes mistakes. So don't get mad at yourself and beat yourself up in college for doing it. So yeah, that's a good point. I did say that.
Absolutely. So this is a call where we're raising money, right, for the athletic department. And Mike Melendez has a lot of great people on here speaking. But what I'd like to hear, and I'd like for everybody on this call to hear, is what did receiving an athletic scholarship to Rice University mean to you?
Man, it was everything. I mean, that's the only scholarship offer I had. It's given me so many opportunities in football. Thankfully, I haven't had to use my scholarship to get any opportunities outside of football, but I'm sure they're there. All my friends that played with me that didn't make it in football, it made it in something else, and they got it from their Rice scholarship. So I'm just so thankful for that, and I can't wait to use it for the rest of my life.
Love that. Jack, we're so proud of you. We love watching you every week. Every week we get to catch those highlights, and you are making us proud. I know Mike's about to jump back on here.
I am back. Coach Bloom, Jack, appreciate you both taking the time. Jack, great to hear your story. Great for every time you come back between the hedges to South Main to visit with the program, making us all proud out in Detroit. You guys have a great weekend. Thanks for taking part. 2 greats right there, Jack Fox, Coach Bloomgren. Coach Bloomgren, we have a football game, away game experience on the bidding site. So join the team, right? We have great trips ahead next season, great opponents. Looking forward to it. That will be up for bid through next Wednesday. So continue doing it. Up next, a word from Rice football letter winner and founder of the great Gatlin's Barbecue, Mr. Greg Gatlin himself. Then an interview with JP Heath and 3 of our most prominent women's coaches, Elizabeth Schmidt, Brian Lee, and Jim Bevan. Before then, quickly, I want to introduce our featured auction item for the night, the Mass Mutual Greater Houston auction item, the Sunflower Retreat for the Galveston Getaway. Secure your financial future and enjoy a worry-free getaway on the beautiful Galveston Island. The winner of the raffle will receive comprehensive financial planning services by Mass Mutual Greater Houston and a 3-day, 2-night stay in the historic Sunflower Retreat located near the historic Strand District, and moments away from Stewart Beach. A special thanks to our presenting sponsor, Mass Mutual, Greater Houston, and Rice football letter winner, Kelly Hetmanchek, for his donation. Financial planning services and the Galveston stay will be redeemed on mutually agreed upon dates. Sit tight. We got more good segments to come.
Hey guys, Greg Gatlin here, Gatlin's Barbecue. There's still time to get those bids in for the Gatlin's Pitmaster Experience. Get out there, submit your bid, let's have a great time. Thanks so much. Go out.
Hey, good evening, Rice family. My name is JP Heath, voice of your Rice Owls. We are so happy for you to be here tonight. Thank you so much for joining us for the inaugural Night of Flight. And today we have a few head coaches from our outstanding women's programs to share some insights about their great teams, as well as learn just a little more about them. And thank y'all for joining us. Appreciate you for donating us some time here. Appreciate it, coaches.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
So, yeah, thank y'all so much. And we'll start with you, Elizabeth, on the tennis side of things. Your team currently consists of all international student athletes coming from Ireland, Australia, Morocco, Belgium, Italy, and the UK. How does recruiting internationally differ from recruiting in the United States?
Well, it means that my assistant and I spend a lot of hours on an airplane when we go to do home visits, first of all. But to be honest, it's really not that much different. I mean, we're recruiting what we believe is the best student athlete for Rice. Rice has a great reputation internationally, just as much as nationally. But we're looking for student athletes that are going to excel in the classroom, push themselves each day on the court, and then represent Rice with pride. And we're fortunate that that has no borders. And we've, other than a lot of hours on planes, it's really no different than recruiting nationally. And we have wonderful dinner conversations because we have perspectives from all over the world, and everybody's healthcare, politics, everything is a little bit different in the world. And so it really makes for great conversations.
This is a question for everybody. And starting with you, Elizabeth, why do you coach women's sports? And Jim, and then Brian, you can follow up, please.
Well, we could probably talk all day about that. But just to work with the student athletes here at Rice, the women's student athletes, I think all the student athletes are tremendous, but their drive, their pursuit of excellence. Personally, I also was fortunate to have a great mentor in Stella Sampras Webster at UCLA when I played there. And she walked the shoes that we walked, and then I'm walking the shoes that our players, our student athletes walk. So I'm hopefully I can draw on my experiences to help them in those shoes as well. But it's just, joy to come to work. And that's really just coaching women's athletics is a dream come true.
In my case, we're unique because we do have separate men and women's programs. And in track and field around the country, I think it's about 90% now combined programs. So we're unique to have a women's track and field separate program. And Victor Lopez, the reason I coach women at Rice is because that's what I was hired 35 years ago by Victor Lopez, who started the program. And we've kind of kept it that way. And I think it's better to have separate programs because women deserve that kind of attention. And they don't always get that attention in a combined program, first of all. And second of all, Paul Blankenship, who was the old tennis coach from the women's side, he mentored me some in my early years also in regards to coaching women. He always maintained that the women will, A, they're more mature at this age, but B, if you pour into them, they're going to pour back, and they actually are, they're more grateful for the job you do with them. And I think that's very, very, very true. I haven't coached men in 35 years, and I don't want to. I've helped with the guys a little bit, but I think the women at Rice are extra special, though, in echoing Elizabeth. This is a special place, and it demands excellence in both areas, academically and athletically. And the kids we have, they are that type of people. So we attract special people, and they're tremendous people. So I'm grateful to coach women at Rice. So,
Coach Lee.
Well, my story is a little different. When I was in school, I didn't have much money. So on the side, I would coach the women's club team. I went to Furman University, and at that point they didn't have women's soccer. And in the early 90s, there weren't many women's Division I teams across the country. So as a men's player, I'm coaching the women's. We had some pretty good players on campus, but I was being paid what I thought was pretty good per month from the intramural to coach them. And my entire life, since I was 14, 15, I knew I wanted to coach, and I knew I wanted to coach college soccer, but my goal was to be a Division III coach of a men's program. And that's where I thought I was headed. And I was lucky enough and had the opportunity kind of present itself, be a coach in the club team while I was in school. I graduated in 93, right when the Title IX explosion hit, that really was softball and women's soccer based. And women's soccer went from maybe 40 programs to about 250 in a 2-3 year span. So Furman added a team just as I was graduating. The kids on the team liked me a lot, so they were pushing for me, and they probably didn't want someone to come in and recruit all the players either, in retrospect. But a lot of people turned down the job because they were getting better jobs. Georgia had just started, and Alabama had just started, whole SEC, whole Big Ten, whole Big 12. And really very fortunate to get that first job. Funnily enough, I was making more as the club team coach than I did the first 6 months as the varsity team coach. I had to take a pay cut to take the job. But in my younger years, I would help out with the men a little bit as well. And, you always hear about the differences between coaching men and coaching women. And for me, it's really based around women enjoy being coached. Men, you got to fight sometimes. But in 25 years, I've never come across an uncoachable player for me. So it didn't take long for me to really grow affection toward it and stick with it.
All right, the next one again for all three of you. What brings you the most joy as a coach? First with Elizabeth, Coach Lee, and then Coach Bevan.
Well, I think, we were talking about, our student athletes and how much they love coaching and being coached and their work ethic. And I think working together with your team and seeing them, take something and run with it, and also overcoming adversity, right? I think, even adversity could be on the court, it could be in the classroom, it could be life, but walking beside them, and then helping them overcome it and seeing the joy that they have when they achieve something, right? And they've put everything, their heart and soul into it. So seeing them put their heart and soul into it and actually get the reward for it. Reward might be winning. It might be, it might just be understanding how much they grew, right? So seeing that growth, I think that's the ultimate reward is the growth as a person. So, and seeing them do that.
I couldn't agree any more with Elizabeth. The word for me is growth when it comes to that. And from whatever starting point they arrive at Rice with us, just on and off the field, that's the satisfying piece. And really somewhere along the line for almost everybody, the light bulb goes on. Sometimes it's 2 weeks into their first preseason as freshmen, and sometimes it's 3.5 semesters. But when you see that glow and that real moment where they kind of get it, and in some way, shape, or form via athletics, they find that growth piece that then transfers to the rest of their life. It's really, really fulfilling.
And obviously, I want to echo the growth, but putting it in a different way, for me, the best joy is when you watch them go through the challenges and changes, the adversity, and they graduate, and you're with them that senior year or right after. That's the biggest joy for me is to look back at when they were freshmen and struggling, or maybe their sophomore year they had to overcome this, overcome that, but riding all the ups and downs with them and then getting to that finish line. That's joy number one. Joy number two is 5, 10, 15 years down the road when they come back and you see them and we talk about, what they went through and how far they've come, and you hear how Rice did make the growth possible. And they always say university is supposed to be universal, like education, broad education. And I do think Rice does prepare. And we talk about a 40-year degree versus a 4-year degree in recruiting. And that's the other joy, is when you talk to them and they're 30, 40, 50 years old now, and Rice does what Rice should do. I mean, Rice prepares them for their future, and that's wonderful when they come back and you hear that. That's another joy for them. So.
Okay, finally, first with you, Elizabeth, and this question is for everyone. We're all here tonight to raise money for the Rice Athletic Scholarship Fund. How does scholarship support impact each of your programs? First with Coach Smith, then Coach Lee, and then Coach Bevan to round out, please.
Well, first, thank you for everyone for being here and being a part of this night. I mean, it's super important. The scholarship support is huge. It provides us the opportunity to provide our student athletes with this amazing opportunity to be at Rice. It also helps us to go above and beyond. So if we're supporting scholarships, and we can also, Coach Lee talked about, the data analytics, we'll do, going above and beyond. We do video and cut up. And so to do that at the top level, right? And everyone here is trying to compete at the highest level and provide our student athletes with the greatest college experience. And nights like this and the support of all of our, our donors and alums helps us do that, to really make it a first-class experience and everything for our student athletes.
Yeah, just echo Elizabeth again. Thank you to everyone for being here. And obviously, when you're talking college sports, and scholarships are a big expense, all of the support is just immense, and it really does trickle down and allow us to do the other things that can help make us successful. I think a couple things. Number one, everyone should know the quality of the student athlete across the board, men's sports, women's sports, everyone involved, so high. It's a great group of kids that we'd all be proud to have our kids grow up and be like the typical student athlete. So you can feel comfortable with that. But over and above, when you look at women's athletics right now, the support we receive, there's 5 teams playing this spring, and we've got 5 teams in the top 30 in the country. Stanford's not 5 for 5 right now in the top 30 in the country. It's really an unbelievable achievement, or an unbelievable environment right now that's going on with Rice Athletics, and specifically the women. And this kind of support pushes us to even go that little bit higher. I mean, right now where we are is everyone's between 20 and 30 in the country. And for me, I don't think there's any reason that with the right kind of support, we can't push our way into 5 of us being in the top 10 or 12 in the country. But it's that important to me, and that big a deal, every donation.
And in our case, following up with Brian, like, we're on the threshold in women's track of making a big breakthrough. I've got 4 legitimate national caliber and maybe Olympic caliber athletes. We're about to get another one next year. But in taking care of the little things, we also need good support, and the extra money from equipment, from the standpoint of we have to have post championship competitions, Olympic trials, et cetera, that have to be paid for, massage, chiropractic, stuff like that, just extras. And the higher the level of the athlete, the more extras we need. And then we also have a big roster. We have 45 young ladies. And so there's a lot of little things that it goes to, but then there's big things it goes to. We'll have at least 2 girls in the Olympic trials. Well, you've got all the extras that go into that. And in even echoing what Elizabeth said, we're 10 international kids right now on our team, and we're doing more international. International costs more money to recruit, et cetera. So there's a lot of little things, but we're on the threshold of doing something great across the board in women's athletics at Rice. So the little things are making a difference, and let's shoot for having 5 in the top 20. Let's do it.
Hey, thank you all so much. Been great to get to know each of you individually over the years. So thank you so much for joining us here. Night of Flight, Rice Fight. We'll be talking to you soon.
Great segment with JP Heath and our women's coaches. Our women's programs continue to thrive. 5 in the top 20. I love that as they all approach the postseason. Coach Lee and your Conference USA champions, Rice Soccer, heading out to Cary, North Carolina to take on Furman next week. So Rice Fight never dies. We were excited about it. Quick recap on the auction. So updates. For those joining us now, you missed a fantastic announcement from Steve and Letitia Trauber. A $50K dollar for dollar match to the auction proceeds this week. a 50K challenge match to Jenny Volpe in a game of Owl, and another 50K challenge match to Scott Pera in a game of Owl as well. 150K match put out there by the Trauber family, just continuing their steadfast support and philanthropy of the true student athlete experience. Can't appreciate them enough. We've had the auction's been open for an hour, just under $10,000 raised so far in minimum bids. Hot items, the authentic personalized Rice football jersey. I think it's got 20 bids on it right now. You've got a lot of things going hot, a lot of things going heavy. A great way to kick this off. Bidding will continue through next Wednesday, midnight. So get your bids in, continue to make them, stay updated, stay posted. Next Wednesday at midnight, bidding will close. So time to get through the weekend and enjoy. At this time, I invite everyone to use the link below, riceowlclub.com/RASF, to make and help us continue this strong start by making a gift to the Rice Athletic Scholarship Fund. Again, that link is riceowlclub.com/RASF. Tonight, we've heard from our student athletes, letter winners, head coaches, and benefactors about the impact of student athlete scholarship. Over this next week, we have a goal of raising $70,000 to the Rice Athletic Scholarship Fund, equivalent of one full athletic scholarship. As you can read the quotes from our student athletes, please take your time to look and click on the link below or go to riceowlclub.com/RASF. Bidding will continue through next Wednesday, as mentioned, in support of their scholarship fund. Thank you to Mass Mutual Greater Houston and all those who donated experiences and items to the auction. As we get ready to sign off, a final list of thank yous to make. So thank you to tonight's guest, our Director of Athletics, Joe Colgard, Scott Pera, Jenny Volpe, Earl Cooper, Erica Gumake, Nancy Mulkey, Steve Letitia Trauber, Jack Fox, Mike Bloomgren, JP Heath, Brian Lee, Jim Bevan, and Elizabeth Schmidt. Folks who made this possible, a plethora of Rice staffers behind the scenes that are probably too many to name, but I'll point out a few particular. David Pillen, our Assistant AD for Marketing, who created, produced, and did all of this behind the scenes for us. Nick Wood and Laura Hanger on our development staff, who really had the ideation for this and drove it through the finish line. Most importantly, I want to thank each and every one of you for your steadfast support and for investing your time, talent, and treasure into our student athletes. We're grateful for all of you. Tremendous things are happening on South Main. We cannot wait to welcome you all back to campus here soon to cheer on your Owls. God bless. Good night. As always, go Owls.